Today's video, I come prepared, y'all, with my receipts. Okay, I came prepared with all the knowledge that I could think of that I could pack into this introductory video because it's a lot. All right, it's a lot. There's a common belief that most business owners have when it comes on to social media marketing. A lot of them want great reward with little investment. Some of them believe that their niche is too saturated, so they won't be able to stand out. And the list goes on. But I want to say it's not your niche, and to an extent, it's not so much how much money you can pump into an advertisement. In fact, it's actually your content. And we're going to break it all down in this 4-part series that I am so excited to share with you guys called Post to Profit. We are going to be talking all about content marketing and everything that you need to keep in mind for your overall social media marketing plan in order to reap profits from your posts. If you're also following me on Instagram at the Content Hub JA, you will also get access to additional value. Also, you guys should check out my description box under this video so that you can access my free resource guide that goes along with this series. It's called the Post to Profit Guide, and it's gonna literally walk you through every single thing that I'm gonna talk about in each of these videos. Now, I know not everyone is a social media professional, not everyone is social media savvy, and even more, not everyone is a social media marketer. But when you're a solopreneur, a small business, or you just want to learn more about how this game works, you have to take the learning process in stages. And so for today's video, I have broken down this video into 4 parts. I call them the 4 P's because they're all start with P's. I thought it would have been a nice touch because the series is called Post to Profit. So we got like P and P, you know, so I just continued the trend. Okay, whatever. So as I said, this video is broken down into 4 crucial categories that you need to bear in mind when you're developing your content marketing strategy that should be embedded in your overall social media marketing plan. And just in case you are confused about the difference between the two, think of your social media marketing plan as the umbrella, the holding company of some sorts when it comes on to your game plan of what you need to be doing. Inside your social media marketing plan, it will take into account different things. It will talk about your branding style. It will talk about different guidelines, how you will be engaging online, what features you're going to be optimizing and using the most, and most importantly, what your content marketing plan is. Now, your content is the most important feature in your social media marketing plan. Think of your content as the bridge that connects your business to your ideal customer. It's literally what they're going to interface with first before they even get to know you or your brand. So if your content cannot stop the scroll, if your content does not resonate with that ideal customer, then you have a missed opportunity. And that's why I'm placing the emphasis on content for this series, because honestly, when you can try to figure out everything else later, if you get content wrong at the start of this whole thing, then all your efforts will literally not bring you the fruits that you're hoping to see in your social media marketing plan. So let's get into the 4 P's of content marketing that I think you guys need to bear in mind. And the first one is under the category of platform. Now, when it comes on to platform, there are tons of them out there. We have Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, whatnot, Snapchat, Red Note, Lemonade or Lemonade, and I can keep going and going and going. And you as a business owner is gonna think, okay, I don't know where I need to settle my social media marketing plan. Where do I need to be creating content? Where do I need to be showing up? A lot of times, different social media marketers will try to influence businesses to be active on several different platforms. And the reason for that is if you are able to outsource, if you're able to hire someone to do that for you, then by all means, go off. But if you know that you're literally the only one that's managing your content, that you have to create your content and plan everything through, I would recommend that you focus on only 1 to 2 platforms to really kickstart a meaningful journey in your social media marketing plan that will give you a return on your investment. The reason for this is because burnout is a very real thing, and take it from me, I am talking from experience. I have managed clients' pages and I've also felt burnout my own self in the midst of all of that. And I'm telling you, it's not feasible to try and show up on every single social media platform there is. You just won't be able to give each one the intentionality that it needs. Now, you may be asking, since I have to choose which social media platform to show up on, how do I make that choice? And I have two different factors that I think you guys need to bear in mind when you're trying to decide which platform do I show up on the most. The first factor is when you take into account the nature of your business and who your target customers are. Let's say you are the beauty brand and your target customers are young girls in their 20s who like to see pretty things on screen and hear pretty music and just be in their girly era. Already we can tell that you need to be on a platform that can literally match that appeal, that can produce content that will attract them. Automatically, TikTok comes to mind and Instagram comes to mind because these are both visual and video-based platforms. You may also consider YouTube, but YouTube is really mostly for the longer form of content. If, let's say, for example, as a beauty business, you decide that you want to give in-depth tutorials on how to care for your skin or how to use your specific product, in that case, I can see why YouTube could be a thing. But for a niche such as that, I would recommend TikTok or Instagram because you really want to double down on that visual, video-based content that will really target the customer because that's what they already like to see. Likewise, if you are a service-based business and let's say you're into consultation, then a lot of thought leadership, a lot of networking is going to be very important for you in this business model. And we can now consider a platform like LinkedIn, which is really focused on forging B2B connections. Now, let's say, for example, you've thought about those two things, but you're still feeling a little bit confused. You need one more thing to think about to nail it in, to really nail in the platform of your choice. This brings me to the second factor that you need to consider. And that's, where are your competitors showing up the most? What platforms are working the best for your competitors? Where are they putting all their time and energy? Where are they putting most of their content? And how are people responding to their content? Does it look like, they're getting a lot of sales through these channels? Does it look like they're getting high engagement? This is a good indication that maybe your ideal clients are also hanging out on that platform, and that's probably where you need to show up as well. So take this into consideration when it comes on to the platform that you're choosing to really give your time and energy. And this in itself will help you to be more prepared when it comes on to capacity building in terms of what you need in order to produce the best content for this platform. Now we can move into the planning phase of your social media marketing game. Now this is where things can get a little bit tricky because honestly, this is where most business owners make the biggest mistakes. It's in the planning, it's in deciding what they need to be talking about and posting about. And I just want to take this moment to address something that I feel to my core, guys, to my core. Like I feel it to my core. I've worked with so many solopreneurs to date, and I'm telling you, almost every single one of them, and even established businesses, make this mistake. When you're new or you're just upcoming and you're trying to build a community online, you're trying to generate traction and leads, no one cares about your business. All right? Nobody cares about the board of directors. Nobody cares that this is your morning routine. Nobody cares that this is what you stand for. I'm not saying that these aren't factors or things that aren't important. Of course they're important, especially when you're trying to establish credibility. But the truth is, if you're trying to get people to care about you as a new business, you need to position your content and the planning around your content to focus more on the target customer. A lot of times we see a lot of content about our mission statement and this is what we stand for and this is the event that we're gonna be putting on to showcase our community giving back. It's all about making the business look good on social media rather than giving value to people or just literally trying to generate interest through your target customer. And this is a very huge mistake that's often made and can slow down the process of your growth online. So it's very important as you're in the planning phase, always remind yourself that who you need to be creating content for is your target customer, not your business. Yes, it's your business account, it's your business brand, but we'll get to all the brand core stuff, core values, and talking about who we are later down in the line. But as we're starting off, we really need to focus majority of our content on the customer. It's actually known as the 80-20 rule. And what this means is that 80% of your content should be to provide value or to be tailored to an interest of the type of audience you're looking to attract to your business account. And then 20% of your content can talk about your actual business, your actual products, your actual services. And this is how you kind of achieve a balance between the two where you can still highlight your business, but you're also majority of your content is mostly focused on the interest of the people you're trying to reach. So how do we kickstart the actual planning now that we're keeping our target customer in mind? We still need to organize what we need to post and when we need to post, the idea that we come up with. I always encourage business owners to establish content pillars first. Think of content pillars as the literal categories, like major categories that describes your business and what your business will constantly be talking about on social media that's relevant to the target customer. So for example, I'll use my business as an example. I have a content marketing agency, and so I provide social media marketing and content creation services to business owners. I could talk about social media marketing tips, and that's a content pillar that would be of interest to my target audience. I could talk about content creation tools. That is also another feature about my business. I could talk about the entrepreneurial mindset because I'm talking to business owners. I hope you guys see where I'm going with this. Your pillars should connect your business core services or products to the interests of your target audience. And I would recommend that you develop around 3 to 4 different content pillars. And then under each of these pillars is where you start to flesh out different ideas that links back to those pillars. And you'll find that in doing this is where you actually start to get the most organized when it comes onto your content. Get a sheet of paper, whatever you need to do to write down different headings that describe your business, your products or your services, and come up with different ideas that are still very much relevant to your target audience. Now, you may say that you've come up with the ideas, you've come up with the content pillars, but you're struggling with coming up with the individual ideas now under those pillars. A good place to start is to look at your target customer. You can consider what are the likes, the dislikes, the interests, the pain points that the customer have. So using my business as an example, once again, one of the greatest pain points for my clients is that they are not seeing a return on their investment for social media. I could talk about how to turn your post into profit. I could talk about the greatest mistakes that causes money to go down the drain through your social media marketing. All of these are linked back to that one core problem that I have identified based on my history and experience of working with different business owners over time. So if you're completely new as a new business and you really have no information that could detail your ideal client or your ideal customer, I would say pause on the social media execution for a moment and try to get in touch with someone that could be a beta client, someone that would work with you for free. And in return, what you would get in return is experience, feedback, and market research. And this is very important because if you do not know what are the topics that are of interest to your target customer, there is no way to produce content that will attract them and also give you sales. It just does not work. It really just does not work. And this is why I was emphasizing at the beginning of this segment on planning that we need to keep in mind that we are creating content for our target customer, not just for our individual businesses. So now you should have your content pillars. Now you should have like a little, a fresh set of ideas underneath all these content pillars. What you're gonna do is literally create a calendar. Like literally, I love to use Notion. I have a Notion affiliate link. So if you guys want a discount on Notion, you can visit that link in my description box. But I love to use Notion because it really helps to keep you organized when it comes on to batching out your content and seeing what you need to be posting every single day. So literally develop a calendar and plug these different content ideas in the calendar in a time frame that is realistic to you. So this is like where you're setting out your workflow. I call it the content creation framework, where you take into account not just the content pillars and ideas, but also the frequency of your posting, because this is also pretty important. The key to this is to ensure that you are posting at a pace that's realistic for you and consistent for you. Yes, it is true that the more you post, the more return you will see in the sense of growth across any social media platform that you engage. Universally, objectively, that is true. However, if you can only manage to post 3 times a week, that is still better than posting for 1 week straight and then just getting so burnt out and then you disappear for the next week and then you come back the other week. That type of posting will not get you to see the results that you're looking for. So find a method that really works according to your schedule. I will say though, you really do not want to be posting less than 3 times per week. You really want to stay in a nice middle room of at least 3 times per week. So develop your calendar, choose a topic from each category to talk about throughout the week. And another pro tip here for you guys is to always leave room on your calendar to do, I hate to call them impromptu videos, but let's call them more trendy type of videos or content overall, because the truth is you cannot really predict every single trend that will come up when it comes on to different content that you'll see in your niche, and you want to be able to can adapt. A good strategy is also flexible, so give yourself some wiggle room to create a video on the go or a post on the go based on a trend that you may be seeing in your niche. Now, if you really want to get a good detailed look as to what it looks like to really develop this calendar, I encourage you guys to download the Post to Profit guide. It's in my description box below, because there you'll actually get to dive in a little bit more and get a visual look as to what I was indicating when it comes on to developing the calendar. So make sure you grab that in the description box below. It's completely free. Now let's move on to the next category. The next P, the third one, is production. This is where the content creation begins, guys. This is where we're taking all the ideas that we've fleshed through, that we've planned through. We're taking into account all the platforms and the best way to show up on these platforms. And we're also keeping our ideal clients front and center. And now we're actually getting into producing and creating the content. To be honest, this can be the most frustrating phase for a lot of persons, because not everybody has graphic designing skills. Not everybody feels comfortable showing up on camera. Not everybody feels confident, when it comes on to sharing their thoughts and putting themselves out there. So I can understand that this process can be a bit intimidating for some people, but trust me, practice really makes the journey way more easier. The more you do it, is the easier it becomes, and it's the more you learn. So I really encourage you to have an open mind when it comes on to creating your content. Now, to make the process easier, if you do not have graphic designing skills, you can use platforms like Canva that has tons of templates available that you can use to create your carousel post and your single graphics, and the cutesy demure type of aesthetic designs that you want. You can use Canva to actually create a post. You don't have to start from scratch. And when it comes on to your videos, what is really important is your environment, so where you're located. Guys, I'm literally using like an iPhone. I'm using an iPhone right now to record this video and a single mic. I'm not like making the process super complicated, because it really doesn't have to be. What's important is to ensure that you can be heard clearly and can be seen nicely. Things I want to guide you on when it comes on to the production phase, the content creation phase of putting together your game plan for social media marketing. And the first one is that you want to batch your content. So once you've decided, okay, this is what I'm going to use to record my content, these are the templates that I'm going to be using on Canva to create my content, then I encourage you to batch them. Guys, batch the content. Literally, you can do it bi-weekly and create 2 weeks of content, or weekly if you so choose. But whatever it may be, whatever flow works best for you, I encourage you to batch them, because the truth is life is gonna happen, and especially if you're the one that's also running your business, you're the head cook and bottle washer, I think that's the saying, then you want to save yourself time. So block out maybe like on a Saturday, a Sunday. I think weekends work the best. And literally just sit down and create the content that you need to carry you through for the next week or two. I find that this method is what works the best, even for me in my business and how I manage like other person's account. Whenever I do so through batching the content, because things can happen, things can change, and the reviewing process can take time. So you don't want to get too flustered because you're trying to create the content that you want to post today. You want to know that I have sat down, I thought this through, and I gave the content intentionality that it needed, and I created it to the best of my ability. So batch your content. That's really important. Give yourself an outline. So especially when it comes on to video content, I hinted earlier that sometimes we get a bit intimidated because not everyone feels natural in videos or on screen. And a lot of times it's because we're overthinking about whether or not we're gonna fumble, whether or not we look okay, whether or not what we're talking is actually making sense. And a good way to overcome this, especially when it comes on to what you're talking about, is scripting. Personally, for me though, I cannot script word for word what I need to say, because I am pretty, as you can see, I use my hands, and I'm all over the place sometimes in my videos. It's because it's how I flow. This is my natural way of showing up on camera, and people can tell sometimes when you're not being your most natural self. So you want to find a nice middle room where you can be your natural self and also be guided. So I don't script word for word. I give myself bullet points, and that for me act as my little outline. So if there's something I'm forgetting to mention, I take a glance at my tablet and I'm like, oh right, I need to say that, and then I start talking about it, because I guess just over time, it's just something that I grew to find to be the most natural way for me. And so I encourage you to explore these options with yourself. You can try to give yourself bullet points and practice. And if you find that it's not sufficient, then you can also attempt to, actually create a full-blown script to further guide you, if that's just your flow and if that's what helps you to show up as your most authentic self. I know there are platforms like CapCut that allows you to generate a teleprompter as you're actually recording yourself. So if you write a script and you need to read word for word, you can try using CapCut and the template that it has to help you along that process. The thing I want you guys to bear in mind when it comes on to the production phase of your content marketing plan is to feel okay with taking inspiration from other persons who are in your niche. I know sometimes this can feel a bit weird because other persons in your niche talking about the same thing as you oftentimes are your competitors, but that doesn't mean that you can't look at what they're talking about and see, how they relate to their audience and try to get inspiration from that. You don't want to be copying anybody, but you want to get inspiration so that you're not always starting from a blank slate. We're now at the final category, and that is probably the most relieving one, the most stress-free category, and it's all about finally publishing your content. So after you've done the platform research, after you've planned through everything, after you've gone through the production of everything that you planned, it's now time to publish your content. It's now time to put your brand out there and be known and see how people resonate with your brand. Honestly, I think I probably shouldn't have said this is probably the easiest part, because for some people this is also the most nerve-wracking part, to actually click publish and put themselves out there. But for me personally, this is the exciting part, because I'm always looking forward to how will someone respond to this? Like, what will someone say? How will this piece of content perform? Because it's almost like that type of validation, like, yeah, I did the right thing. I planned this content the right way. There's a nice feeling to it. But publishing your content is where you've packaged everything that you've worked on to this point, and you literally click publish and you monitor. Everything in this phase is all about monitoring. In content marketing, we actually call it content listening, and this includes looking at your analytics. So what is the data telling you about how this content is performing? And also, what are people actually commenting and saying? That's also another way to be listening. Are people liking it? Do you find that persons are having more questions as you're publishing content? Maybe there are areas for clarification that you need to double down on. What is the data saying? Is this performing well? Is it not really performing well? Is the algorithm pushing it to more and more people, or is it just in the region of those who only follow you? These are all different important factors that you need to bear in mind as you're listening or practicing content listening after you've published your content. And to know that if you're a new business or you haven't been posting consistently for a while, when you have your new batch of content ready to go and you're feeling all excited and you're ready to put it out there, a lot of times there's this unrealistic expectation that you're just gonna blow up because you have been consistent for a week. And I am just here to shove that expectation through the door. This is me shoving it out of your head. Get it out, because that's not gonna happen. The truth is, when your account is in a rut, or if you're new, the algorithm needs time to learn about you. It needs time to analyze your captions, to look at your content, to see how consistent you'll be, so that it can better make a decision as to who it shows your content to. So strategy will take time to work, and this new batch of content that you're creating, how amazing it may be, will also need time to work. So I encourage you to not get discouraged if you only got like 50 likes. Like, think about it this way. Imagine being surrounded by 50 people and all 50 people are telling you that they like what you're producing. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people to be around you, like in a physical setting. So don't allow like a 50 number in terms of likes to discourage you about whether or not if you're gonna grow over time. If it's a case where you've just been getting the 50 likes for like the past 12 months, then we know that we definitely have a problem. But if you're just starting out or just revamping, please have realistic expectations, because strategy takes time to work. Those are the 4 P's that you need to bear in mind when it comes on to creating your content marketing plan so that you can grow your business on social media and turn your posts into profit. Think about the platforms, where you're going to show up, why you're going to show up on those platforms. Think about your planning. What am I going to talk about? And is it focused mostly on the consumer, or is it mostly about me? Think about your production. How are you going to create your content? You need to be creative. You need to be doing something new, and you want to have high quality content that people can really, really like to look at and enjoy. And also publish your content, but make sure you're practicing content listening. So you want to pay attention to your analytics. You want to look at the feedback that your followers are giving you. Follow the data. It literally never lies. And guys, this was episode 1 in the 4-part series. I am feeling so excited and pumped for all the value to come in the following episodes. Just a reminder that there's a free workbook in the description box below for you to download. It's there to help you along this series and give you more in-depth information on what you need to be bearing in mind when it comes on to creating strategic content. So make sure you get that. It's like, I'm telling you, you need it. You need it. Follow me on Instagram at the Content Hub JA so that you can get all the extra nuggets of advice that I'll be posting there. I think this far into this video, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like and make sure to leave a comment down below to let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else that you think you'd want me to double down on more in the upcoming episodes. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye. If you're a business owner, this is your opportunity to leverage content and strategically grow online while remaining consistent. Let's talk about the Content Hub membership. I created the Content Hub for business owners, both small and medium, to leverage content support right at their fingertips. We all know that being a business owner means that you literally have no time to waste. And sadly, sitting down for hours to create content oftentimes isn't very sustainable for a lot of business owners. The Content Hub is literally your own private space that gives you the ability to request content on demand, unlimited, that will help to keep you consistently growing. As a bonus to your membership, you also get access to free resources and guides. You'll also be able to engage with me on one-on-one monthly sessions so that we can go over your strategy, look at what's working, look at what's not working, and also I'll be able to walk you through all the different things you need to be doing in your video, in your copy, to help you to grow and capture the attention that you need from your audience. Now is your chance to seize this opportunity. Get the content support that you need for your business. So visit the link below or in my profile bio and reserve your spot for the Content Hub membership today.